Hey guys and welcome back to my channel. For this month catching up on K-pop. So at the time I'm filming this video, we're kind of like going through a heat wave and it is kind of suffocating. My Vietnamese heritage is kind of like embarrassed to admit it because I'm like, I should be able to handle this, you know, but I'm not. Nah. Just bringing the temperature up because that explains why my fan is on and also why the lighting is different, because usually when I use all the light in the studio and everything, it is unbearably hot and I was like, I'm not putting myself through this. I'm sorry, but I hope you guys enjoyed this more like a cozy ambience today, which is something that I usually leave for patrons videos that are longer and everything. But yeah, I hope you guys don't mind and I hope you guys can enjoy this more chill lighting and everything. Also, I have to admit that I don't know how to do my hair and I could not be bothered today, so ponytail it is, you know. And also because I can already tell that my brain is already melting, and I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet, you know, not dwell too much on the details as I usually do because I do enjoy it. But yeah, so anyways, you guys already know the drill. The music videos were chosen by the patrons and my own contribution to this lineup for this month is Oh My Girl's music video. So yeah, let's not lose any more time. Oh my girl, summer comes. 여름이 들여. Yodam isn't. I don't know. I'm gonna try to think too much. Actually, today is not worth it. I think not today. Let's go. Whoa, those are really big heels. Wow, she looks great as a blonde. Oh! I was like, why zombies? Zombies are really typically summery, right? How about no? Like turn around. The clown, not them. Okay. But like there's this understanding whatever that when it's hot outside you're gonna go to like haunted house or whatever to feel the chill, right? Yeah. Oh, that's all. Ghost hunter, right? That's the thing, right? Hey, this Monster High aesthetic on them looks so good. J'espère. You know, oopla. Not yet. You know, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Was it the best song? No. Is it a great summer song? Yes. I'm gonna once again use food or drinks as a way of comparison, but like out of the plethora of refreshing dish or snacks that you can grab whenever it's hot, during summer and hot weather and everything, I feel like instead of this being an ice cream, which is something that you would think of immediately, like for example, the ice cream, which is something that comes automatically to your mind when it's summer and something that you reach for very easily. To me, the equivalent as a song would be Touch My Body by Sister. To me, it's kind of like summer song. Do you know, it's like the first thing that comes to mind. This kind of song, I would say, is more of like a slushy kind of. Like it's still very like summer coded, but it's not the first thing that comes to mind whenever I think of like a summery snack or like something that would be refreshing, and it's not necessarily the first thing that I would think of or like crave when I'm in need of something refreshing, if that makes sense. I feel kind of like ridiculous every time I'm bringing these kind of things up, because at the end of the day, it all boils down to personal preferences. I don't know where exactly I get this feeling, but you know when you're near a beach and the sun is like, not the sun, and the wind is like blowing and everything, and you can feel on your lips a bit of like saltiness? Do you know, I feel like this song is giving me that same saltiness on the lips. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not in love with it, but I enjoyed it. All right, moving on, we've got New Jeans with ASAP. And that's the sound. Once again, I discussed this really quickly in my reaction, like my big reaction to them. And I mentioned how they're kind of like dominating the whole like TikTok and Reel music, you know, like every time I scroll on my feed, either ETA playing or like Super Shy. Super Shy is probably the one that I hear the most. But Cool, for example, but also Get Up. Like I'm telling you, I've heard every single one of their songs, watching reels and everything, and I'm like, they are dominating. And so ASAP is the song that's like with the clock, which is normally a song that I dread. Like I'm sure there is some of you guys out there like this, but when I'm in a room and I can hear the clock ticking, I either need to like remove the battery out of it, or I need to like, you know, remove myself from the room or something, because the clock ticking is just stressing me out. However, I have to say that whenever I do hear the snippet playing in reels or whatever, there is something almost like peaceful about that sound, which is unexpected, because as someone who's like naturally nervous and everything, I think I would tend not to gravitate towards this kind of sound. But if they manage to make it sound peaceful and kind of like mystical almost, which I'm sure that we'll be able to, because hello, Cool, Get Up, yeah, those kind of song. Which, by the way, when I learned that Get Up is not an entire song, my sister actually sent me the link to that song on our chat, and she was like, it's so good, but it's so short. And I'm like, what do you mean it's so short? It's almost like I was like trying to like gaslight myself into believing that this can't possibly be just that. Like it can't just stop there. It was ridiculous how I was trying to like convince myself that no, there is no way. There is like a longer version that exists out there. They just don't want, they're just playing with us. And I guess when reality hit, I'm like, reality is sometimes deceiving, disappointing, you know? Anyways, I did read in the comments that apparently, I don't know if it was Honey who said this, but apparently they are probably going to go down that route of like more R&B kind of music in the future. And if that's really the case, I am so looking forward to it, because Get Up is such a delectable sound. It's just pure gold, you know? So anyways, I know I said I would keep it short and sweet, but you know me anyways. Right, so ASAP, let's go. The bunny again.
Hi, it's me again, I'm back. Let's talk
right.
ASAP.
These teaser pictures,
ASAP, baby.
elf aesthetic, fairy aesthetic, whatever you call that.
ASAP, baby.
What?
Hurry up, don't say maybe. 할 얘기 다 한 줄 알고 빨간색 눌러 끊고 나니 생각나서 다시 또
That's beautiful.
There's this one more thing I'll show you. Come with me, so much to do and lot to see. Just for a minute.
Wow. But I like when I saw this teaser poster, oh my god. when I saw the teaser pictures, I got reminded, of FX so much. I said that before.
ASAP, baby. Hurry up, don't say maybe. ASAP, baby. Hurry up, don't say maybe.
Dude, they really managed to make the TikTok sound not stressful for someone who's naturally anxious.
Hi, it's me again, I'm back. Hey, let's talk ASAP. Do you have the time? Let's talk ASAP, baby. Hurry up, don't be lazy. ASAP, baby.
I am lazy though. Wow! I want to draw. If I could draw, I would draw these. Do you know what I mean?
Hurry up, don't say. Just for a minute. Just for a minute.
Yeah, fairy core or whatever that's called. That is such a beautiful aesthetic. This song feels like the very few moments before you're about to fall asleep. While the music video is absolutely gorgeous, it almost made me feel like I want to like close my eyes and listen to the song instead. And it's funny because I actually said last time that I thought the music video were too distracting almost on a first watch like this, that I couldn't focus on both the music video and what was happening, the plot, storyline and everything, and the actual song in itself. And usually what happens is the visual kind of like overtakes the listening part, if that makes sense. However, here in this instance, even though the music video is absolutely beautiful, like I said, I almost wanted to close, it almost made me want to close my eyes entirely and just bathe in the sound of the song. Like the way they just like, you know, dive into the water or whatever. The sound of this truly made me feel like I wanted to dive into les bras de Morphée, Morphe's arms. Is that how you say it in English as well? And you know when you start like falling asleep, everything kind of like starts like fading out in the background. And that's how this song feels. This song feels like the moment when you are about to fall asleep, and that moment is something that is very magical, I feel like, because it's right in that moment of like you're still aware enough, but it's almost like you've surrendered yourself, and so there's a vulnerability there. Dude, am I making this into something that is way too serious? But yeah, I'm just trying to explain how this makes me feel. There's something very magical about this song, even though this is like the same parts repeated again and again. I feel like this is also where the whole like hypnosis sensation comes from. So you know how people who like hypnotize other people kind of like portrayed with like this handheld clock, whatever that's called, and you have to like look at it dangling or whatever. Yeah, and I do realize now that I've been almost like spoiled the whole entire song, at least like 50% of the song, by Instagram and the teaser and everything, but that's cool, it's fine, I'm not mad at it. I think after listening to this and watching this, it only reaffirms my opinion in thinking that ETA is actually my least favorite song of the track list that they just released for this album. Yeah, I think it really just reaffirms it. So, alright, moving on. We've got Jaehyun with Horizon, and hold on, give me a second. What? No way. No way. Wait, now that I'm playing it, I'm just gonna leave it. 늘 익숙한 거리를 계속해서 헤매던 우리 짙어지는 불빛 선명해지지 않는 빈자리 Where you been my whole life 돌아 누우면 흐릿했던 홀로 남겨진 꿈이었던 환영이었나 너의 빈자리 더 짙게 너를 느낀 조금 뒤늦은 irony 길 잃은 맘은 lonely 아픈 게 번진 이별의 마지막 This song is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. I bled it to like, I've listened to that song an unfathomable amount of time. Anyways, you're actually telling me that it was a year ago. Like August last year. What? The fuck? Anyways, let's go. Is that Italy? That is. You know his pictures when he's in Paris at night? I had his picture as like a background for so long. Guilty. This man. Is godsend. Like, there's no other way to put it. This. Oh. You know how Switzerland is not too far from Italy, right? I'm appealing to SM. Please do speak more French to me. Just let the front make it drive with this move. Whatever I wanna do, end of the surface. Don't you thought I wanted to when it's groove? Yeah, you told me that you're going to end of the surface. Just let the front make it drive with this move. Whatever I wanna do, end of the surface. Don't you thought I knew the past? Really though, how many of us fell in love? Are you kidding me? Oh. Oh. You know what people say nowadays, right? Solulu is the... No, yeah, what is it? Delulu is the Solulu. I am so convincing myself that this is right. Ay, 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 this man. Ah. You know how some people say that God really took his time crafting some people? There is absolutely no like logical reason for someone to be so attractive, and not only to be attractive, but for his voice to be as attractive as his face. Do you know what I mean? K-pop is an industry with tons of gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous people, and naturally we all have, you know, our own taste and in what we find to be attractive, handsome, whatever, right? And what I'm about to say is not applicable just in the K-pop industry, it's just like in general, but like, you know, there are like people who are quote unquote conventionally attractive, and you're like, we all agree that they are attractive, right? I mean, the majority of us agree that they are attractive. And I guess there are some people who would be considered less conventionally attractive. However, their voices make them so much more attractive. Do you know what I mean? Like someone with a good voice, oh my god. That's why I say that this is almost not fair for him to have both, because how are you gonna be looking like this and sounding like this? You know, it's enough for swooning over him and his voice, right? That was in Italy, was it not? Because he does go to for Padda, right? Italy. Oh, various locations in Italy. Yeah. So I know I said that I would stop swooning over him, but what can I say? The thing is, this song and music video emits so much like of a boyfriend energy. You are on holiday with your boyfriend and you just, you know, capture moments together that you will be able to look back on when you go back home or something. Like this song does not necessarily feel like the honeymoon phase of a relationship, if you want. It feels like as if you were in a relationship for a little while already, but the love is still very much there, it's still very much stable and everything, and you go on holiday together to celebrate your union, and that's how it feels. It feels simple, it feels easy, it feels lighthearted, it feels like there's a familiarity, but it feels so cozy, and you know that feeling of like home is a person, and because the person is home, you can just go wherever with that person and it will still feel right. It's so romantic, it's so loving, it's giving delusional. Objectively, can you blame me? Alright, let's move on now to The Rose, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I know for a fact that I reacted to a song, right, on my channel. His solo work, I did react to him, but The Rose, like on the top of my head like this, I can't remember an instance where I actually like reacted to one of the music video. And this one, if I'm not wrong, is one of their many releases that they are planning, or they have planned for this upcoming album that is coming out soon, I believe. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not that familiar with The Rose. I obviously know of them and everything, but their music is something that I haven't really delved into too much, and I don't know from when exactly it started, but I started seeing them more and more on my feed. I feel like somehow they've become a little bit more mainstream. Like they were invited to the Montreux Jazz Festival, which is in Montreux, Switzerland, and I am from Switzerland. However, let me tell you really quickly, I do live in Switzerland, and Switzerland is a relatively small country, isn't it? Even though we do have like a good, you know, train system or whatever that's called, I live in a small village, which means the last train that I can grab to get home is at 11:36, and if I don't manage to get on that train, I would be stuck. Also, I do not have my license. Wait, all that to say that even though we are getting more and more events, concerts in Switzerland, it is still very hard for me to plan everything and to go to these events. And by the way, if you know anything about Switzerland, is that everything is very expensive here. Very. And sometimes if you do the math, it would make it less expensive for me to actually go to Paris for a show than to go to the show in Switzerland. So yeah, all that to say that I didn't get to see them when they were in Montreux, but I think that is so freaking cool. They also came here last year for their own tour, I'm pretty sure, which once again I did not go because it was in Zurich, I think it was. And I live in the French speaking part of the country, not in the German speaking part of the country, so yeah. Anyways, I'm saying all this because I'm like, that is so freaking cool to see a group like them. And I don't know if you would consider The Rose as being like an underrated group, but regardless, I still find it so freaking amazing to see a group that don't necessarily get like that are not recognized enough to finally to reach more people as time goes, you know. And I just love being able to witness that at the moment where people are being awakened to a group, if that makes sense. I'm not necessarily talking about The Rose here, but like in general, you know. I think it's like so freaking beautiful to see a group managing to reach more people and to touch more people, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So yeah, anyways, I've been talking way too much for someone who wants to keep it short and sweet. Back to me, let's go.
I can make you mad, I can make you scream, I can make
I've heard this. Wait, I've heard this on Instagram, I think. Oh, I've totally heard this. What?
make you cry, I could make you leave, I could make you hate me for everything, but I can't make you come back to me. I could make a world out of broken dreams, I could make you say things you don't mean, I can all make.
Okay, I realized that he's singing about being a red flag, but oh my god, he's hot. Well, I clearly am not familiar with them. Holy shit. See? Red flag. I mean, you know, how ironic is it that they're singing that and everything? What is it with our brain that makes us attracted to red flags? I know this is just a song. I know.
I could make you cry, I could make you leave, I could make you hate me for everything, but I can't make you come back to me.
Ooh, okay, look at them. Yeah, explain to me. Explain how is it that I feel like I'm like a sound person. I feel like I'm the kind of woman who's like, yeah, I would never fall for a red flag, blah blah blah, like I know what I deserve, etc etc. However, listen, I say this while also knowing that I am extremely naive. And I don't think it would take me a lot to fall for someone like that, cause shit. I might have mentioned this when I reacted to Gravity by OneWe, but growing up, I never really had that phase where I thought that, you know, rock star or musicians or whatever were somehow attractive. I'm bringing this up because I feel like for some people, musicians and artists that were rock stars and like that played an instrument on stage and whatever was the epitome of someone that was hot and sexy and attractive. Those artists were kind of like seen as having a lot of sex appeal, and it's kind of like people want to be with them, to get with them, you know? Like I'm sure there is tons of fan fictions about something like this on Wattpad. But yeah, the fangirl getting with the main singer of a band or whatever, you know? And I never had that growing up. However, I think I'm just a late bloomer, because when you show me this, or the same way I felt when I checked out Gravity by OneWe, like I mentioned, I feel like my eyes have been opened. I feel like now I understand the appeal. Now I see what you guys were talking about. I see why people were so obsessed, you know? Seriously, when you listen to this and when you read the lyrics and everything, it makes me want to have this fantasy of like being the person he's singing about, and you know, you're in the concert hall where they're having the concert and suddenly they play this song and you know it's about you, and it's like you are the main character, and it's like, oh my god, like as if the spotlight was on you and they're just singing it to you. That's the fantasy that's going on in my head. And here I am once again being ridiculous. And what do people say nowadays? Like I said earlier, Delulu is the solo, so I'm gonna embrace it, you know? Like I don't care. I love that song. red flags all over, but what is it? I'm colorblind. I'm not ready, but that's what, that's the joke. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'll go grab lunch and I'll come back later in the afternoon to check, to film the second part of this month, catching up on K-pop with Psychers, Toyuri and Eunbi. So I'll see you guys in part 2 if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!